live from Los Angeles. It's the 10 Point Podcast. My name is Bruce, and 2,400 times a year, 44 times a week, 9 times a day, every 48 minutes, a movie is reviewed here. This is the movie review capital of the world, 10 Point Podcast. On my crew this week, first, I was on my way to work and I thought I'd come by and say hello to my little monkey. It's Chris.
I ain't cuffing up. I've misspelled it. I ain't chuffing up. I ain't chuffing up.
You didn't even prepare your responses.
I put a couple of the ones down, but that was the one I was always going to use.
I think every so often I throw one of them at him and he's like, oh. And secondly, I can't deal with this retard factory this early. I misspoke there, but it's Andy.
You broke Chris already with that one.
Not very many insults thrown around in this film. It's hard for me to pick out these introductions. We are the 10 Point Podcast. We are a film review podcast show thing. We pick films, we review them. You can find us on all your podcast apps. We've been there for 6 seasons now. This is the 7th season. Yep. And rumors are that there's going to be as much coming again in the future.
Yeah, we've got renewed for 6 seasons.
Been recommissioned for another 6 seasons minimum of the 10 Point Podcast, giving us some real room to play with what films we're going to be reviewing.
We'll be in syndication soon.
Yeah.
It's got another few seasons of random Bobcat Goldthwait ones.
Oh yeah, the return of Bobcat in a few seasons time. Podcasts will be different at the end of the last season. It'll be broadcast in some other fashion. But where you can find us at the moment, all your podcast apps, Spotify, where you can find video versions. Apple Podcasts is our most popular listenership. So give us a review, give us 5 stars, tell us what you think either way on Apple if you like that sort of stuff. You can watch video versions. Our 10 Point broadcasts are over on YouTube. Just search for 10 Point Podcast over there, and you can see Chris's fancy new, I don't know what you would call it, jewellery, timepiece, I guess you would call it, that he's got on tonight. Just Google 10 Point Podcast. We'll come up in the very different forms that you can find us on the internet. 10pointpodcast.com is our website, and all of our details are over there too. Still looking for ad sponsorship. Andy hasn't said it this week, so I'll say
yes, there's no.
I always need money.
You always need money. So we used to have the news. It's gone. So what was our highlights of the week this week? Andy was thinking about it before we started, so I'll go to Chris straight away. What was your highlight of the week?
Well, my highlight of the week was getting this present from Andy. My Mickey Mouse time watch. But film-wise, it's quality. Film-wise, I watched All Quiet on the Western Front.
Ah, okay, the Oscar nominee.
Yeah,
how did you find it?
Bash. I thought it was really good. You can watch it either German-speaking with subtitles or English dubbed. The only issue I had with the German subtitles is the subtitles pop up really, really fast.
Right.
So sometimes if there's a lot of speaking, you have to either flip it back to English to find out what was being said.
Just speak English.
It makes it more authentic.
They made it in Germany. That's why.
Well, I don't give a shit. The world should just speak English.
Yes.
But other than that, it is a quality film. There's a horrible scene where a guy gets stabbed, and it takes ages for him to die. It makes this horrible gurgling sound for ages.
I see.
There's a lot of good one-shots. As last week showed.
Yes, so you're definitely giving it a thumbs up, and I recommend.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's one of the few Oscar nominees we can watch at home in Britain, I think, at the moment. There's not too many of the the Best Picture. I think it's Best Picture it's nominated for anyway. One of the few. Since Andy was struggling, I'm assuming he didn't watch anything brand new, because I watched something brand new this week that I will say. I went to the movies for the first time in a wee while, and I saw Knock at the Cabin. Was what I saw this time. The M. Night Shyamalan most recentest. He of the thriller and the twists and all that sort of stuff. Knock at the Cabin is probably just absolutely what you expect it's going to be. It looks like it is just a horror movie on the outside, but it turns out it's actually more of a kind of mystery, and that's exactly what M. Night Shyamalan films are. They always look like they're going to be scary, but it's more of a, are they telling the truth? Or I'm assuming you guys know of it and know the premise.
Yeah.
Basically,
Batista.
Oh yeah.
Basically, a couple.
I've heard good things about Batista.
With their kid are in a cabin in the woods, and then these people rock up and they say, I think they said in the trailer, one of you has to die to save the world. And the whole film basically about is, can they convince them to do it, or can they find out if it's actually true or not? If you know what I'm saying. So you watch Batista and Ron Weasley and their team are the I don't know, the enforcers, and then there's the couple. So they're trying. It's all about are they telling the truth and what proof is there and what they're needed. Why are they doing what they're doing and all that. I think I like Cabin in the Woods better, that we reviewed way back when on the podcast. I think for me that's a better version of this film.
You did love that film.
I did love that film. And Batista's really good in it. Like Dave Batista doing some proper acting. He's really, really good in it. But it's just fine. I'm not like, don't rush out and go watch it. It's definitely a stick it at home on a Friday night sort of movie. So I give it a thumb up, but I am not enthusiastically giving it that thumb. Andy, what about you? What was your highlight?
I watched all the Screams.
Oh yeah.
And I've got to say, Scream 1's good. However, that has been ruined by Scary Movie.
Yes.
And then the rest of the Screams are all got their high points, but I keep forgetting which killer's in which movie. So it's always a surprise until I go, oh yeah, would you?
I'm starting to blend Scream and Scary Movie together now.
Yeah,
I'm getting confused which is which.
Yeah, I had that problem with the first one. I was like, I always remember it's Skeet Ulrich and Matthew Lillard. I was like,
yeah.
But it's just like, I'm waiting for a scene. I was like, oh no, it's not this one. And it's like, oh, it's a bit of two, but they put that in Scary Movie, which was the Scary Movie first one. I was like, oh, I'm so confused.
I always put one of the Wayans brothers in my mind as in the first Scream.
Yeah.
It's Liz McGowan. I keep thinking that she's in Scary Movie.
Right, yeah.
She's in Scream.
Yeah. But yeah, Screams are still pretty good. Waiting for the new one. Hopefully, it's what I want. Scream out of whatever it was.
It's not Haddonfield. That's Halloween.
I wanted to say Sunnydale, but that's not that either.
Somewhere else. It's Illinois. It's like that sort of area, isn't it? It's the Haddonfield.
I literally just watched 4 movies and they're always in that town. I just forgot it.
You not watch the new one as well then? No.
No, I just watched the original 4 because I wasn't a massive fan of the 5th one.
I liked the 5th one. I thought it was good. For me, the 3rd one, the Hollywood one, is by far the worst. All the rest.
That's the last one I watched.
That's got Jane Silent Bob in it. It's amazing.
But that's probably the high point.
and also a banging. I thought Jane Silent Bob was the best cameo. I forgot Princess Leia was in it.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher. Yeah, rocked up in that one.
That's a cameo.
I watched that. I think obviously it'd be a year ago was the last Scream came out. Whenever that was, I was watching them. And Carrie Fisher, we were doing her every week in the bloody podcast at the time.
I remember you mentioned that actually.
Yeah. But Screams, they still got a thumbs up.
Good. There we go. One recommendation each. I cannot speak today. This is going to go really well considering we've just started. So we better crack on of the podcast this week. Point number 1. What's the point? The point this week, the 2018 action crime drama thriller. I'm not sure if it's a thriller necessarily, but action crime drama. Den of Thieves, written by Paul T. Scheuring, who was the creator of Prison Break.
That's why I know his name.
I've not watched any of Prison Break ever. I'm completely
Sort yourself out. Get them watched.
No, what the fuck?
I was speaking to Daddy beforehand at all things I need to watch, and I've started watching and all that. So that's another one. But I missed that. I think I'm safe to say I didn't watch Prison Break.
Season 1 is the best.
Ever. It's amazing.
When they actually break out of the prison, I guess.
Spoiler.
Building up to breaking out. So that's his claim to fame. Written and directed by Christian Gudegast. His only directing credit, it's the only film he has directed to this date, but he is the writer of London Has Fallen, which I think is the second
third
one. Anyway, one of the Has Fallen.
Olympus, London, and then
Eagle. Is it Eagle or something?
Olympus.
The Olympus is the first one, I think.
Olympus is the first one.
Aye.
Then London.
London's
and then
Fallen.
Eagle Has Fallen or something like that, isn't it?
No.
Is that not a new one that's coming out?
Yeah, maybe it's a new one.
Or Plane, anyway, who knows? Gerard Butler.
Gerard Butler in action movie saving the president normally is what's going on. The film stars Gerard Butler as Big Nick O'Brien, famous for the Has Fallen films, I just mentioned, 300, Law Abiding Citizen, The How to Train Your Dragons, and then most recently he was in Plane, all caps, a big action movie, very similar, I'd imagine, to the stuff Has Fallen, being the plane that's falling this time. Co-starring as Ray Merriman, Pablo Schreiber. Claim to fames, The Wire season 2, the separate season from all the rest of them from The Wire. That was one that was about a different set of bad guys. Orange is the New Black, where he was Emmy nominated for his role in that. Most recently, Halo as Master Chief, shaking the head from Chris. And no joke, in the last week, Jade was watching Person of Interest, the TV show, and in one episode, Pablo Schreiber rocks up, no joke, playing a driver of an armored truck.
Yep.
So it's like blew my
Man's
mind.
been typecast.
Yeah. So that's him. And I put in at the end as Donnie Wilson, O'Shea Jackson Jr. Basically wasn't in anything until he was Ice Cube in Straight Outta Compton. He was basically cast as an unknown into Straight Outta Compton. He had a smallish role in Godzilla King of the Monsters, the second Godzilla movie of the most recent run.
He does. His career's going to skyrocket soon.
Because he's in Kenobi, or at least he was in the second half of Kenobi, and is going to be in everything Star Wars going forward, apparently. So,
Oh no, there's another film he's in as well.
What's that?
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, is he in that? Is he? Right, okay, he's in that as well.
That's going to make his career right there, Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. It might do. It might well make his career. But yeah, I think his squad are getting a spin-off from Kenobi that he's going to be in as well. So a lot to come from O'Shea Jackson Jr., I'd imagine. Den of Thieves, on a budget of $30 million, opened in the US, taking $15 million. Its final US gross, $45 million. Final worldwide, $80.5 million. So basically double and a bit its budget in terms of cinema takings. But it didn't strike me as a massive blockbuster that would take loads of money at the cinema anyway. Released 19th of January 2018 in the US, made it to the UK 2 weeks later in February. Meant it qualified for the 2018 awards season. The Oscars, no nominations. The Razzies, no nominations. And the Saturn Awards, which was never going to really do anything at, also 0 awards.
This is on the same par currently as the human race.
Exactly. It did receive 1 nomination, so far fewer than what the human race did. And that was at the 2018 National and Film Television Awards. Best Actor, Gerard Butler. He didn't win.
Television Awards?
Oh, National Film and Television.
Right.
So it's kind of like the Golden Globes. Best Actor for everything, because it was won by William H. Macy from Shameless. So it was TV show versus movies at the same time. Synopsis for Den of Thieves, written by an anonymous person. It may just be lifted off of the poster or the DVD or something like that, because it's
our old classics back.
I know, I need to find what
Nick's gone out and hiding.
Audio and all that I've been watching and reviewing. The film. In Los Angeles, a team of robbers led by Ray Merriman make a violent armed attack and hijack an armored truck. Police officers arrive on the scene and engage in a shootout with the robbers. Eventually, Merriman and his crew escape with the empty armored truck. In the morning, Detective Nick O'Brien investigates the crime scene, having been monitoring Merriman and his crew for a while. Suspecting a local bartender named Donnie for involvement, Nick finds him at the bar and kidnaps him for interrogation. Donnie reveals Merriman is planning to rob the Federal Reserve on Friday of that week by covertly removing about $30 million in old bills, which are scheduled to be shredded after the serial numbers are deleted from computer records. Didn't say the thing in it there. It's not exactly true. Like this, it sounds like Donnie told Nick that was the plan, which is not exactly how it goes down. But it pretty much tells you what is happening in the film. I was the person that had picked it. I'd seen it before, I think only once, and it was long enough ago that I'd forgotten the twist ending, so that was quite good for me in the end. What about you guys? Who'd seen it before and who hadn't?
I've seen it once before. You've never seen it?
Never seen it. I don't think I've even heard of it until you mentioned it.
I hadn't heard of it. I see. The reason I picked this, which answers my next question, what channel is it on, is it's a Netflix mainstay, which is now not on Netflix anymore. This film was always... This and Sicario are the two films that look the same.
Yep.
They're like guy films, like bro films.
Yeah.
They're always there. It's like, it's shooting, it's guns, it's loud.
There's like one woman in this that has not a part where she's not in like her titties and like bra and stuff like that.
I think every woman has one scene except from Gerard Butler's wife's character. She's in 2 scenes, I think, maybe 3.
Which is still like, it's her being like a proper woman, like get the fuck out of my house. And the next thing is she's in a supermarket shopping. Back where she belongs. Get the food in.
I think the supermarket is one scene I didn't have.
All right.
Which brings me on to the next version. There are 2 versions of this film. There's a 2-hour 20-minute version, and the unrated has 8 extra minutes. I believe you guys both watched 2 hours 28-minute unrated version, and I just bought a Blu-ray off of Amazon that's just the normal version. So you've got 8 extra minutes of going to the supermarket, apparently.
You need to start reading the run times to make sure you get the right movies. That's twice as happened to you.
Oh, well, like The Shining that's just DVD I've had since I was like, I don't know, 10 years old or whatever. But this one, I was like, oh, well, I'd go on Amazon, buy Den of Thieves. There it is. I didn't think there was going to be anything different about it. There's one other cut of it. The German distributor of the movie, I haven't written them down, but the German company that make the DVDs, or I make the film for the cinemas, cut 16 minutes out of it, which was mostly Nick's family scenes and the backstory of what he was like with his wife and kids, and
That's
made
the
it
version I want to see.
2 hours 4 minutes. That sounds like that would have been.
That's a better version.
I think so. I think we can all agree on that. So that'll come up again, I'm sure, later. On to point 2 on the podcast: the high points. What we thought the best bits and things where whoever picks normally starts off. But I bet I'm not alone in thinking the armored car theft and shootout at the start of the film was a good way to start the film. Chris, you're not.
Well, see, I'm actually a bit before that.
Oh, really?
So, well, you see the armored car, but you know when all the numbers are coming out. You always know a film's good when you have to pause it 5 seconds in and have a great debate with your other half going, what are you talking about? And it's like the numbers don't add up.
Right. Okay. What the thing I read at the beginning there?
Yes, they don't actually add up for like that many. So, but we're trying to work it out. So it's like, well, maybe the bank's only open that many times, so they've reduced it. It's not a 24-hour time period and trying to work it out that way.
Ah, I see. Because like immediately, yeah, if it's 2,400 times a year, then if you divide that into a month, that should be quite easy. Is that 100 times? That's 200 times a month.
Yeah.
That would be, to me. Is that right? Yeah, 200 times a month. That's not 44 times a week.
Yeah.
So you're right.
So yeah, we started off with this. It's like, all right, okay. And then it was, oh yeah, this is the film with the, no, it's not. Oh yeah, this is the film. No, it's not that one. Oh, is this the one with the, no, it's not that one either. Literally, it was constantly like this. It's like, which one is this? And I was like, it's really hard to describe without saying the end. So I don't know if you've seen it or not.
Just watch it.
And then we were watching it, and it's like, is it this one? I was like, oh.
Yeah, there are quite a lot of films that are kind of like this. It's
Yeah.
a certain. There's a.
I think we rattled off about 20 films with a security car van.
Yeah, yeah, security vans. I was going to say. So Chris, you seemed excited about the armored car theft scene when I mentioned it.
I genuinely thought they'd botched a robbery. I thought they'd like. Although my question, did the guy not want to shoot the officers? Because they said now we're cop killers.
I think Merriman always just wanted to be like he's a soldier, and he's like they always had the no civilians thing. I think it's always shoot people who are trying to stop us. Basically, I think is what it was going to be. But yeah. There were just 3 security guards, basically, and they could have just been like... And the guy did go for his gun. I'm with Bosco here.
Yep.
Like, he definitely... Because Merriman was really angry with him straight after for messing the whole thing up. It's like, no, the guy went for his gun, and then the driver did as well. Like, it's... I think he was very fair to shoot him.
Yeah. The gunfight, which that led to, was pretty good. Like, you don't see a lot of realistic gunfights, I don't think. It's always like Arnold Schwarzenegger spraying bullets everywhere.
Jumping out from behind things.
This was like their proper, like, moving their guns and like proper, I'd say,
Call of Duty. Master Chief, he knows what he's doing.
Exactly, yeah. You could tell, even then, you could tell, oh, these guys are serious criminals. Like, you can tell they can handle themselves. I've watched it twice intentionally, as we'll get into as we go further through, and I did track that scene, and I'm pretty sure Donnie also definitely didn't have a gun in that scene. Like, when he is being interrogated later on, he talks about how I'm just a driver, they just get me to drive, they don't even give me a gun, and obviously Merriman explains all the bits of a gun later on to him. Like, in that first scene, I was like, but he was there. How could he not have done it?
He's got the drill thing, I think.
Exactly, here's the drill thing, and the other guys all have guns. Obviously, they lose a man, and he was the 4th gunman, which Donnie then has to replace him in the crew, essentially. So yes, the armored car theft shootout at the beginning, very good. Great way to start a film with a bang like that. My next high point is not so much a high point, but I do like it when the criminal gang case somewhere in a film, as in we're looking at the Federal Reserve and they're explaining the plan, and you go inside and you see the daily operations of the place they're going to rob, and you can see everything happening and all that.
I liked Merriman said if they catch you looking at it, you'll get flagged up. So he always has his back to it.
Yeah.
And he's always just moving his head like this is where we're going. So he doesn't get flagged up.
Again, on a watch through, you can tell in that scene where they're in the car park that he's not explaining it to Donnie. He's explaining it as if he's explaining it to everyone, but he's not explaining it to Donnie. He's kind of explaining it to the other 2 guys, which is something, again, I was like, but, and I went back and checked.
That annoyed me through the entire film. I was like, how is he getting this information? Why is he knows so much and he's not even been inside it? How?
Yeah, there is one. I thought it was a flaw as I watched through. Was like there's stuff they don't. How would they know? There's not explaining how they know. Even the cops. I was like, I had to check. How did they get in on this in the first place? It's because they knew Merriman was at prison, and then they saw that Donnie had been speaking to him, and they'd been tracking Donnie, and they knew Donnie was easily going to get toable. And I was like, oh, even that kind of makes sense because it was annoying me as well. But I do like the stealing the shredded cash premise of the film. It's like.
Yes.
at some point in the timeline of a note, it has to be destroyed. If you get it before it's destroyed, then it's a good movie idea for when to steal some money. I like that.
I'll mention I get more later on, but I like the actual when you see everything come together. It's
always satisfying. In this kind of
film.
Any other high points from early doors?
I'm just a lot. I'm going to say the pre-prom meeting, the very bad boys.
The bad
kind
boys.
of like you just walk through the door, you see like 6 burly guys. I would shit myself, literally.
6 is understating it. I think there was at least double that. There was loads of them. It's far less funny than the bad boys scene, but I'd rather meet the 2 guys from Bad Boys than that room full of Polynesians and a gigantic, I guess 6'5", Pablo Schreiber. He's a gigantic big guy, towering over all of them. But yeah, very funny scene. Also, the most acting 50 Cent does in the film.
Yep. I couldn't understand a word he was saying half the time.
Yeah, he's a bit of a mumble at the best of times. It's hard for me to say, but yeah, he does very little in the way of actual acting. Even a death scene, he does minimal acting. Does 50 Cent?
Oh, okay, that's going to call. What did he say?
Oh, my next high point is the Benihana restaurant scene, where basically Gerard Butler and his crew go in, and the criminals are all around the table having their dinner. And I've written down why I like it. We know that everybody knows who everybody is, but what they don't know is what everybody knows, and I like that.
So I was creating scenarios in my head. I thought beforehand Donnie would have said that he's been made by the officer, and it's like work him. We just tell him what he wants to know, and then we'll sort it out afterwards. But like right after that, when he starts getting battered, I was like, oh, nobody knows. I was like, oh, right, okay, it's getting more interesting now.
Yeah.
that's my high point, is when Big Nick gets Donnie and they like kidnap him, and he wakes up and he's
really okay.
Yeah, I quite like that scene where it's just like they're sheriffs but they're dicks. So you kind of you know Gerard Butler's a dick anyway because of his wife stuff anyway.
Yeah.
But then that's the kind of first time where he's like, no, he has a bit of a bell end. And then he's just all his crew just sitting there. It's like, yeah, we had the strippers just clean you up.
Drugs everywhere as well.
Yeah, just drugs there. It's just like, are these the good guys or are they the bad guys? And then obviously you got that line from the film. It's like, yeah, we're the bad guys here.
Yeah.
Which is obviously this would be it's a similar sort of tone to like Training Day, where of course and famously in Training Day Denzel Washington's a cop, but he's like the villain. He's the baddest bad guy in the film, but he's a policeman. So you're kind of like. We're kind of with Donnie. It's like, are they actually the bad guys?
Because this was the kind of point where it's just like, that was the pivotal point in this film, like watching it even the second time, when I hate Gerard Butler and I want these like bad guys to win.
Yeah.
Like,
it's not very often there's a movie where everybody's a bad guy.
Everybody's a bad guy. Everybody can be. You can pick a side and support that side. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously the bad guy's side does pay off in the end.
That scene is very good on a rewatch as well, where like Donnie is kind of piecing half-truths together and flat out lying at other points, and he's actually working Nick as much as Nick is working him and all that sort of stuff.
It's a ballsy move to go back into like, and obviously Master Chief running the whole operation, that he almost got his head blown off. The plan just went to shit right there.
Absolutely, yeah.
And he is going to be called Master Chief all the way through, by the way.
You could just call him Merriman. I don't know. But yes, Master Chief. But no, it is fun because, like, again, everything in the context of the ending of this film is different, because the restaurant, the Benihana restaurant scene changes as well, because you would think on first viewing, why is Merriman not just completely cutting him out? Like, he knows that that's a cop, and he knows Donnie and him are pals. Just get rid of him. But basically, it's Donnie's score, so he can't cut Donnie out of it. So
yeah, I didn't know that. I thought you just go Britain as a driver. I mean, if that bombshell gets dropped, you're like, that's where he's getting all his information from.
Yeah,
but also he kind of needs them as well. Well, not for that reason, but like he's using him to get to Gerard Butler.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So he's like he thinks he's full control. Like that's what actually makes that scene pretty good.
Yeah. Straight after that, not as much a high point for me, is Nick interrupting his wife's kind of double date dinner party thing.
Yeah.
Just him going in like a bloody tornado, just ruining everything in one scene, and then being kicked out basically of the house is a good. It's not a great in the context of the film, it's like a really weird scene to happen. I don't know why it's there, and the wife moves on very, very quickly. For her to be as angry at him for what he did, just immediately within a week.
Well, that's why you need the supermarket scene that you didn't have.
Maybe, yeah. It always happens in these. Any other high points then?
Yeah, the gun range.
Gun range.
Not just after the Chinese, I think. Like, nothing is said to that entire scene, but Merriman just like mic dropped them with the just constant shoot and reload and shoot and reload. I was waiting for it to say "fuck you" or something like that. I was like, don't do it. Don't be like a cheesy cartoon film. They just like message.
It was more because it comes straight
accuracy.
After. Was it Donnie said at the end of that scene that you have to wear your vests or something like that? Like you need to wear vests, and then that's going to that scene. Then it's like he's got this pocket of every shot he fired at a very quick rate, all in the bullseye, if you want to call it that. For me, that scene is very, very good, and then it goes into, because it's a bro lad movie, has to be a strip club in it, and I'm like, eye rolling at this. But then that turns out to be important too, because it's Merriman's girlfriend that he's pulled. And then we're like, oh, he's one-upped him again. But then it turns out Merriman's behind the whole thing as well, because the girlfriend's telling him. It's like, oh my god, it's like everyone's working everybody in this film, and everyone's ahead of the game and not ahead of the game. It's amazing.
This was the kind of lull period of the film where I just started kind of like, and then literally my next high point is literally when the main start of the heist starts.
Yeah, basically.
Which is the bank robbery.
Yeah,
just the rest... That confused me. I was like, why is he robbing a bank? I thought he's building up to the big bag, so why is he just doing his little job?
Yeah. It just kind of like randomly comes out of nowhere, but it's actually really good. And then it's just like they're working it out, and it's like, yeah, we're going to shoot a hostage. Just like, I know you've not shot him. Everybody knows you've not shot him.
Yeah, take them away to the back room and just go back.
Yeah, it's like, you've not shot him. And then just suddenly it's like, blown up. So it's like, why are they blowing up the safe? And it's like, oh, wait there. And then suddenly old Gerald Butler starts working it out, which I just love that bit where he's just like, went rogue, powered straight in. He knows that there's nobody in there. He's worked this shit out.
Yeah.
As soon as he said sewers, I'm like, yep, sewers. Here we go.
I was going to go. I once again, the leap of faith that is just randomly, what's this? That's the sewers. Oh my god, they've gone in the sewers. They just charged straight in. It's like, oh, fair enough. Well played, Nick.
It's movie 101. If there's sewers involved, they went in it.
Yeah. In my mind, I remembered them escaping the bank and getting away and to go do the rest of the heist. But in the film, I must have just completely made that up in my mind, because we get a good gap where we don't know what's happening, and then they're rocking up at the federal bank with their van.
How far do they travel in the sewers to just get up into their vehicle and that's it? They're at the door.
I mean, they could have pre-planned it and just parked the van somewhere. I guess they could have just down the road. But yeah, then we get the heist proper. Where it's
I didn't take many notes here. I was just in awe, just watching this, going as they're walking through and they've got the money. And I was like, that's what they wanted the money for.
Yeah, I was like, they've got the money. It's like, how are they going to do? Like, how on earth are they going to do this? Like, there's not been any pre-infiltration. Nobody's there, and there's like so many people there. It's like there's guard upon person who works there, upon guard, upon security, and all that sort of stuff. And then we get a few, I don't know, technical jumps where it's like, oh yeah, they can. Like they take the thing in with them that knocks out the security camera enough.
Well, the EMP and stuff.
You can see the room, but you can't see people moving around in it. And then there's the motion detector and all that sort of stuff. And it's like fair enough, but I'm gripped.
You need to like a little bit explaining to do here, right? Because I had an argument with Chantel on this one. So they've got a big trolley of money, okay? So forget the plan exists. Just imagine that was just their normal job. They were security people. Mm-hmm. Did they take 2 tubs of money to go to the Federal Reserve to count it, to then get it back to then go and deliver it again?
It did seem that way, yeah.
Because I don't understand it. What's the fucking point? It's like, I get it if they're like, obviously when they're burning the money and maybe they're issuing new notes. But it very much seemed like all they were doing is like, yeah, we're a bit busy at the moment because obviously they're disposing of notes, but we'll count it for you.
No, because when you were talking about it there, I agreed with you, but I think they take just the empty things away at the end.
I thought they were full.
I think
because he says, oh yeah, here, just remember you could use like one next time.
But
that must have been empty.
They're just at the window at that point, just chatting to him. I think they just take empty ones away. But yeah, when you're explaining it, I was like, yeah, they did do that. But I think it's I don't think they did, because obviously
it really seemed like there was still money in that shit.
Because the chute where they puts the money, where Donnie throws the money, that is in the room. So
yeah,
like all of the actual money they count must get like kept in there in some way or another. But
I just confused me. Like that's what security cars do. It's like,
But also, we'll wait for complaints. But yeah, the suspense, the tension, how is it going to how? I'm just sitting thinking that okay, I now see your plan working. How in the hell are you going to get out of there? I know the Chinese food is going to come into it, but how the hell are you going to get out of there? And it's like, oh yeah, trust the old air vents.
that classic. Just as soon as somebody gets to it, it closes.
Yeah, nobody there. And then basically straight into the shootout for me after that. We've got a shootout on the highway.
That flyover, as you see them shooting at each other, and like the prep beforehand, but they know they can see each other.
Yeah.
And like, get my vest, get my gun. And then Big Master Chief just fucking rocks up with a saw.
See, I would definitely just Call of Duty, let's just run and jump off the side of the bridge and just pull my parachute. That's how I would have done that. Fuck this shit. I'm off.
Yeah, the sheer volume of the gunfire, like there's the kind of tense music building up to it, but then as soon as someone pulls the gun, it goes dead silent apart from ba 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 the whole time. And it's like I nearly always watch with headphones on, so I was watching with headphones on this time. It's just the noise of the whole thing happening, and immediately one of the cops just getting wiped out. It's like, all right, okay, this is definitive. This gunfight on the highway here is policeman number 5 killed.
And then 50 Cent has run away, just fucking face plants and just does that classic skid with the legs in it.
Yeah.
All that was.
He got flanked well and truly at that point. One more we can say about a shootout. They shoot guns at each other. It's great. There we go. Yes, the twist ending. I completely forgot about it. I think that's why I was like, that film's good in my mind, but I forgot that was why it was good, if you know what I'm saying. So, yes.
Yeah, I've got retard brain where I remember shit like this. So and partly what you said was true last week. When I remembered, this is a really good film, and when I'm watching, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember what happens now. It's the Saw issue that I have.
Exactly. Once you know a big part of a film's, I don't know, attraction is the twist ending. Chris, but you hadn't seen it before, so what was your
for the whole thing, I genuinely thought Gerard Butler was working with them. Every time you seen them, they pass each other, like, okay, Gerard Butler's in it. And then, obviously, he's not in it. And then you just think, well, how? Where's the money? I just think, what a big MacGuffin that was. They all get killed in the muffin. The money's just sitting in the back of the van.
Yeah.
And then you realise that it's not the money. It's like, fucking Donnie.
It was genuinely, it was uncuffed handcuffs. It was the first time I was like, wait a minute here. Like, what? And then the money's not there. And I'm like, what the hell is the money? Because he was there.
Something weird with the bin lawyers, because the guy tipped his cap and I was like,
because that was his other gang.
I didn't realise that. He's just a random person. Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest hint there. It's like,
at that point, yeah.
The old switcheroo.
The ending that Donnie had planned the whole thing from putting it together months over working in the bar, years working in the bar, right next to the Federal Reserve thing, which
was clever.
We didn't know. Gerard Butler might have known, maybe, but also that could be another reason why he is so aggressive towards Donnie the whole way through. It's like we think you're robbing there, and you live right next door. So that's why they got him and beat the crap out of him in the car, I reckon, at the end. That's a high point, so better move on to the low points. So it's not the worst bits and things of the film. Now, Andy's already mentioned this in high points. I wasn't desperately keen on the interrogation of Donnie. I thought it was too long at that point in the film, and I don't know, it felt to me that Donnie wasn't being threatened enough. Like, it wasn't his life or this part of his life that he was going to lose.
I'll put you in a room with Gerard Butler and all them guys and see how you feel.
Absolutely, yeah. But no, I felt like Donnie wasn't. I didn't feel like he should have been scared enough to just completely turn on his entire crew and give away.
My issue was how quickly they landed on Merriman. Like, they're saying, "Who's doing this? We've got so many unsolved things. Where did Merriman get out? Let's go pay him a visit."
8 months ago, yeah, exactly.
That's the obvious thing. It's like, oh, there's a serial rapist out. Who did we allow out of jail?
Yeah, exactly.
Gary Glare.
Because they'd already, since getting out, they'd already robbed was that a rave at a stadium? So they'd already got away with that one heist. So they must have been following him because someone did this robbery of this stadium, and we don't know who it was, but we think it's Merriman because he was only out of prison, I'm assuming, some less months than 8 months. Yeah. But you're right. It's for them to instantly be, who's that guy that we've been following? It's from that crew. Oh, he's the guy. Oh, give us away the next. Like, did you steal the armor car? Yeah, it was us. 3 times Donnie gives away the plan.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but what are you? What's Donnie losing? He works in a bar. He's a single man. Doesn't have a family. Like, what are they threatening him with? Like, it didn't feel like it worked for me. Any other low points?
Every single person's backstory.
Nick's,
that's literally what I was going to say. Is Big Nick's marital issues.
Yeah.
Yes.
I generally couldn't give a fuck.
No. 16
like
minutes.
That 50 Cent's backstory, the other dudes, like, I didn't care about any of them. And like, I still don't know half their names, even though it came up at the bottom. I was like,
I've no idea what 50 Cent's name is. Like, his character name, I don't think it's ever
LeBeau
said.
or something like that.
That's a good question. The hell is he? Ensign Laveau. But yeah,
Laveau.
50 Cent the entire time to me.
It was at the start when he's deleted his messages. I thought he's been on a case, and to make it look like he's sending a message to his wife. I was just like, just tell her you're on a case. It was not wrong, but not.
That's your fucking job. Stop being a bell end.
And then when they've got Donnie, sorry, on you go.
I was gonna say he sleeps with hookers and he does cocaine for his job. You just if you're marrying that person, you know what you're getting.
I thought he was just a good cop doing his job, and then he had Donnie. I thought this is all smoke and mirrors. He's not banging hookers. He's just he's going to walk out and make it look like he's a dirty cop. But then he actually is just banging random people.
Yep.
I thought you are just a prick. I hope you get shot.
But you could take out basically him drinking alone a couple of times and have the person serving him the divorce papers and him be like, oh, looks like I'm getting divorced, guys. And that's the backstory. You could take out every other scene that has him visiting the wee girl at the school. Yep. Like, I know, he could maybe be on the way to his death here, so he has to go say bye-bye to the wee girl for one last time. It's not really needed.
It's obvious who his favourite daughter is.
Well, exactly, yeah.
You don't need the supermarket scene either.
Genuinely, I never saw it, so yeah, I don't need that either. So yeah,
it's just them staring at each other for a couple of minutes and then just like.
It literally is a couple of minutes of just staring. It's like down the aisle while she's shopping.
Well, it's not in the normal version, but yeah, we don't need Nick's backstory. We get a really good idea of what he is just from how he acts throughout the film. I do like the daughter prom date scene is funny, but yeah, it's not needed really.
Yeah. Yep.
One thing about the film I had this before Nick's on it. I needed one more famous face on the cops team, like on the bad guy team.
It was the guy from Cougar Town.
Well, I don't watch Cougar Town anymore.
Yeah, I haven't a clue you're talking about.
Famous to me, so I needed someone who I recognised. Like second cop needed to be somebody like a bit more famous face, charisma wise, someone with a bit more to do, because it basically is just Gerard Butler and his crew versus these 4 or 5 guys who all have characters, and I felt there was a bit more.
You could actually tell who they were. Like I've seen them in stuff before.
Yeah,
I could tell any of the cops.
No, me neither. Well, there's
Cougar Town guy.
There's one. Is that? Was he play Bosco? Not Bosco. That's the criminal team I'm talking about. We'll come back to Bosco again later. Yeah, the cops. None of them are famous to me. Any other low points? I've got a couple more, but they're both quite near the end.
No,
just a long period in the middle, but it's all these backstories. So
yeah, the actual heist. There's a shit ton of luck involved in this.
Yes.
Like, how did they know that second order he took him for the first bit? How did they know that's exactly what it's going to do? Or are we just going to plan and say, "Oh, sorry, someone's got your order wrong"?
Oh, see, he couldn't guarantee they were going to order food. Something like that as well. That's another one. You don't know that. One of them could have been off that day, and it's like no one to take food to. And
there was something else.
Unless that woman was part of his gang.
Yeah, she was. The one of them in the bar at the end. One of the angry one, the one who was flirting with them. She was in the bar at the end.
Shit, the bed. So she was.
She was sitting next to them. Because I always thought, did they maybe get it on afterwards? But no, it makes sense that she was involved in the whole thing.
With the takeaway.
One major thing that really annoys me is, like, the guy on the door, the security man on the door. I could not place him. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know who he is. But I couldn't picture him for a while. He
was not Scorpion in the most recent Mortal Kombat movie. He was the young main guy who was Scorpion's kid or whatever like that. I was like, that's who that is. I couldn't work it out. Yeah, the whole security desk thing where Donnie comes out having not gone in.
Yeah.
The guy in the previous shift. I was like, well, you didn't sign the book. And also, do you just get to take visitor passes away with you when you leave? I noticed that he brought it in with him and took it home with him. Like, he never asked for it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they could check security tapes. Yeah, you never came in. Like, you've been.
He did get away awfully easy.
He did, yeah. But I more on the Donnie front, low point. They're pushing the money in. At this point, I'm like, I can't remember how this heist goes and what the plan is. What on earth are they going to do? They push in the 2 cases of money. One is nearly empty on purpose, and one is full. And they push the full one in. Oh, Donnie's inside it. It's not actually full. But it looks like it's full. Like there's money. You look down on it, you can see nothing but cash. And then Donnie gets out. There's not loads of cash like stuck to the ceiling in it. They're able to count it and all that. How did Donnie, sitting in there with just like an EMP, stick all this money to the roof of the thing to make it look cool?
Maybe it's a hat. He said a hat.
Yeah. I looked at it, went back to the scene, and I was like fast forwarding. At one point, it looks like it's all full. Then you cut to like another angle, and Donnie's just getting out, and you can see the roof of the thing. And I'm like, oh, they just didn't bother explaining that.
Well, then we can go down the whole why like a secure money room has an air vent that goes straight into a toilet, and like why does the money go straight into just a garbage thing? Like surely we'd incinerate the money, like rather than council picking it up. That seems like a whole thing.
Have the whole radio set up as well, the 50-cent radio.
That was
be ready to press that when they try and get Luigi to come back to check the room that they've let. It's like all that. Is that just a contingency, or is
everybody asked to leave apart from them too? They were allowed to sit there and communicate to Donnie what was happening. Yeah. Everybody else was asked to leave apart from them too.
All the people who work there had to leave. The ones who don't were allowed to stay. So yeah, didn't make sense. And I've already, my last one was I didn't feel like Donnie was ever under enough threat to give up the crew 3 times in a row. So yeah, that was my last one. Any other low points?
Nope.
That's it. We'll move on to point 4. Our statistics for the movie Den of Thieves: 26 shits and 99 F-bombs. They didn't quite hit 100. They got 99, but there's one scene where Gerard Butler and the FBI guy are having a proper go at each other.
That was good funny, actually.
They're just swearing over the top of each other, and I'm like, oh, 1, 2, no, 10, no. I had to keep counting them over and over again. That was very sweary. 4 explosions, 2 at the beginning and 2 at the bank robbery that isn't a robbery. And I've got 9 deaths in total, which doesn't quite add up for me, so I may have missed some at the end. But there's like the 3 cops at the beginning. All 4 of the guys at the end, the criminals at the end.
There's a criminal at the start as well.
Oh, yeah, so him. Actually, there's only 3 at the end, and then they kill somebody else in the middle. So maybe 9's right. Yeah, yeah, 9 people apparently. But there are some hellish gunfights. A lot of cops survive the first shootout, but they do say that there's only a certain number die at that one. It might be 10 or 11, but yeah, roughly that. Did a bad job of counting towards the end. But no cows, no goats, no dead animals, no paedophiles, since that's the only thing that's lasted from that particular branch. Tackleberry trifecta, the Tom Cruise trifecta, if you rather. Absolutely nobody got the girl. Everybody went girlless. And there's no motorcycles in it either, so only running. Most of the cast run in the film. I thought I'd count how many thieves there were. I think there's only 9 thieves, really. Unless Chris did it as well.
No, carry on. I'll tell what I did.
Because I went for actual people who do the thieving. Like there's people who work, like people who do like body work stuff, like cleaning cars and painting cars. Then there's the guys who work for the bin lorry. But basically, you have the 5 guys who steal the armored car, one of which dies, and then from then on, it's the same 4. But then Donnie has like 4 pals at the end that help him steal everything. The guy does all the phone stuff, and his other pals from the bar. So I went 9, but Chris has got a different answer. If you don't know where to go now.
Well, no, mine was I counted who was the biggest thief.
Okay.
So the crew obviously steal a truck and money, so that's about it. Big Nick, on the other hand, steals a donut. He kidnaps Donnie for a while, and he steals food from his ex-wife's date. So he's the biggest thief in this film.
I would say it's the tax man.
Fair enough. Did they say the thing? Did they say Den of Thieves?
No.
I don't think they said thief at all.
I don't think so. They didn't say Den either, so definitely did not say the thing. Any other stats from you, Chris?
None for me, apart from that one.
No, none of your usuals. There was no nut shots or Wilhelm screams, anything like that.
No, there wasn't. Don't even got shot in the nuts either. So,
Andy, I've got your name written here. I forget what I throw to you for here. So,
I would do a fun fact / statistic. This film took 14 years to make.
It did.
Which is 10 years more than the human race.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, yeah. But that was filming. I read somewhere that Pablo Schreiber, he's in Skyscraper with The Rock.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh yeah, after I'm finished on this, I'm going to do Den of Thieves." And The Rock was like, "Oh yeah, I was going to do that about 8 years ago," or something like that. So the Rock was attached to it many years before it actually got made. But yeah, 14 years from writing to actually making it. Point 5 on the podcast is the 10-point podcast quiz. We have been pre-warned, and Chris and I have come ready for the quiz. I don't know what it's going to be.
It's so there could be no cheating.
Right.
Right. Okay. Now, you think this quiz will be called Den of Thieves?
I do.
Well, it's not. It's named after one of the most pointless characters in this film, which is the price 50 cent?
Right, okay.
Oh, fuck.
So,
I was notoriously bad about this the last time we did the price thing.
So basically, it is like The Price is Right, the classic UK and US game show. Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you, it's an American item, and it's all in dollars, and every single one of the prices ends in 50 cent.
Right, okay.
So what I want you to do is write down what you think the price is, and the person closest gets the point.
There's going to be a lot of 350s here.
So we'll start off with a can of cheese spray.
And we're both doing it every question.
Both of you write what you think that price is.
And this is as of 2023.
This is as of the Walmart website that I'll just check before we went on the quiz.
Cheese Whiz.
So yeah, a can of Cheese Whiz.
And it's always 50 cent at the
end.
And
it always, every single one of these prices ends in 50 cent.
I can't remember how you do a dollar sign. I'm going to leave the dollar sign off.
It's fine. I'll take numbers. Right. Bruce, you hold yours up.
I've gone 150.
Yeah, that's I've got 150 as well.
Oh, you were both wrong. It was 250.
Oh.
Next one. A 6-pack of Coca-Cola.
A 6-pack of Coca-Cola.
And remember, it ends in 50 cent. That's the gimmick of the quiz. All right, Chris, you can go first. Hold yours up.
450.
Oh, you went for 450. Bruce went for?
I've gone way higher. I've gone 950.
Chris got it bang on. It's 450.
450.
Yeah.
My God,
remember, this is Walmart prices.
That's cheap.
Right. What is it? A jar of Schmucker's Goobers peanut butter and J.
Peanut butter and J.
Yes, so peanut butter and J. Ian. Remember, it ends in 50 cent. Right, Bruce, what have you got?
I've gone 350.
I got 350.
It is 350. You both got
hey.
Okay, so Bruce is still 1 point behind. A 32-inch Philips HD LED telly.
What size?
Yeah.
32-inch.
32-inch telly.
Remember, Walmart price. And to give you a clue, it ends in 50 cent.
Ah, thank you.
Right, Chris, it's your turn to show first. Wait till Bruce is right in.
Hang on, I'm not finished. I have no idea what kind of guess this is. I don't know.
Right.
I was keeping way off, but I've gone 225.50.
I've gone 189.50.
Oh, Bruce is closest. It is 180. 118.50. Oh. So Bruce gets the point.
I was going to have 125.50 that Tuesday for 225.
Bruce gets that point.
Yeah. That 2-2, I would say.
Yeah.
It's level pegging now. Right. A 1 kilogram tub of cheese balls.
Cheese again. 1 kilogram. Cheese, but as in cheese.
Yeah, the cheese
balls?
puffs.
Cheese puffs, right.
The cheese puff things, not
a kilogram.
I've seen these in Walmart. They're spectacularly big.
I got undersold this one.
It's Bruce to go first.
I've kind of gone low as well. I've gone 750.
Well, I went 1050.
It is 750.
Hey!
Bang on the number.
What a comeback. I'm the winning.
Should have done double points for bang numbers, but we're not. We're not changing the rules. We've had fans moan about the rule changes.
Yeah.
Right. A 2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew.
2 liter.
2-liter bottle of Mountain Dew. Full fat, not sugar-free version.
Right.
Because it makes difference. Right, Chris, what number you got?
250.
You went 250?
I went to 150. Oh.
Bruce got it bang on. It's 150.
Yeah.
Right.
I thought we've already had a 150. I thought we were going to change it.
No, we
Right.
haven't. What was 150?
Oh, no, the first one was wrong.
Oh, Euro 150 wasn't the right price. Anything. Right. A 12 packet of pepperoni pizza pockets. 12 packet.
Pizza
Pepperoni
pockets.
pizza pockets. Right. Is Chris first or Bruce first?
Chris. Yeah.
Bruce.
I forgot what I wrote. 650.
650.
550.
Bruce wins it, but he's still comfortably off. It was 1350.
Oh my god.
Really?
Remember,
Jesus.
it was a 12 pack of pepperoni.
12 pack. Yeah, but I thought pizza pockets were like.
We sausage rolls.
Yeah.
Right.
I think Bruce is comfortably won.
8-inch sweet potato pie.
Potato pie. 8-inch.
Yep.
8 inches. That's very big, is it?
I love the deep thought. Chris is like, trying to number down. Right, Chris.
I went 750.
Oh,
Then
I went 350.
Chris gets the point. It was 850.
What?
Right. What's the scores? I've lost count.
I've got 3.
I think I've got 4. Yeah, I've got 4.
Okay, we'll do one more. Like two.
And then
2
maybe
more.
a tiebreaker. 2 more. Okay.
Right. A Wilson NFL official size football.
Ooh. Official sized.
Yep.
Oh, mine did end in 50.
Well, the whole point is it's called 50 cent.
Right.
Bruce.
I went 1950.
1950.
2450.
Oh, Bruce gets it. It is not 1950. 950. Sorry.
Oh, is it?
Oh, right.
Jeez, $10 for a Wilson.
That was like an
hell?
official. I was thinking of like
Right.
of actual football.
Yeah.
So, if somebody gets this next one, which is the last question,
Oh, right, okay.
if they get it bang on the number, it's an automatic win.
What? What's the point in the rest? Okay. Right.
But if Chris gets it, he loses. If Bruce gets it, he comfortably wins.
Even comfortable or win. Yes, okay.
Right. A 36 pack of Trojan pleasure condoms.
36.
36 pack. Remember, if you get this bang on, you automatically win, Chris.
He looks confident.
He does. It's his brand.
Right. So if I go mine first.
You go yours first.
2150.
2150.
Oh, I went 2250.
Oh, you were close. It was 1950.
Oh, I was close to
So Bruce wins.
Yeah.
Comfortably. There you go. The price was 50 cent.
That was good, Andy. Thank you very much.
I was
Well,
struggling.
mine was 50 cent.
Yeah. I thought you might do one that was 50 cent.
Yeah.
But yes, a victory. Thank you very much. On to point 6 on the podcast. Movies within movies. Chris leads us off with the 10-point podcast universe. Who have we crossed over this movie with other movies that we've done in the past?
I'll start with the big one. Big Gerard Butler as Big Nick. I thought he'd been in more films, but apparently we've only done Rock and Roller.
I believe it's only Rock and Roll, and I picked that as well. I've picked the 2 Gerard Butler-led films so far.
And you didn't even pick him on your Scottish team.
Exactly.
Evan Jones, who is Bosco, he was in Hotel Artemis.
Yeah.
As Trojan Nash. I don't know. I can't remember him.
I think he might have been Jeff Goldblum's kind of henchman, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
couldn't.
pretty sure he was.
But Evan Jones, he basically, you get him when you can't get Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Because I think like anytime I see him in something, I'm like, oh, it's Flea, and I'm like, oh no, wait, it's not Flea from the. So, but yeah, he's in lots of things, Evan Jones. But yeah,
Jarhead's the first thing I remember because he has that kind of pug face. It's all squished up.
Such a weird face.
Matthew Cornwall, the bank manager, he was in Vacation.
Yes,
as male guest number 2.
I could not find what he was, but yeah, that's yeah, he was in Vacation randomly.
Adam Drescher, who was the process server, was in Batman Returns as a crowd member.
Right, you really dredged the decks here. I stopped at the bank manager. I didn't get any more after that.
Well, I stopped when I got uncredited.
Right. Okay.
As I said, there could be more than them. I'm getting tired of missing people as well. So my last one is Bob Jennings, who was an LAPD Metro Lieutenant in this, was in Die Hard as a cameraman.
All right.
I the newscaster, I think it must have been his camera guy.
Must have been, yeah. There we go. So it's more than I thought it was going to be. I thought there's not a big cast. I thought there's not going to be too many, but yeah.
I swear we had done more Gerard Butler.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh, is thingy, isn't he? Not How to Train a Dragon. Dragon Rain?
No.
In the Fire.
In the Fire.
In the Fire. No, he wasn't.
Yes.
Is he in that?
Oh, yes, yeah.
Aye.
And you had done it somewhere else.
Aye.
Oh, so yes, yeah, he is in that. Oh my god, I didn't come up in my search. Anyway, yes, he's in Rain of Fire.
Or mine when I went through, I couldn't find it.
Yeah, Rain of Fire. Maybe I've not logged
Knowledge.
that. There we go. Well done, Andy. And then Andy, Chris, have you recast us into roles in the film?
I'm putting myself not as Merriman, but as Pablo Schreiber. So when I go to do Halo, I can make sure they do the fucking thing right. Instead of that botched job that they've done.
Have you noticed, like, in this, he wore a mask more in this than he did wear a helmet in Halo?
Yeah. And he fired more weapons in this than he did in Halo.
He did. He definitely did.
I put Andy as Bosco because of your itchy trigger finger. I put Bruce as Donnie because I can see every now and again you work me and Andy just players against each other just just to see what happens. Get some
make off for the loot. I cast us into the exact same characters, but not in the same roles. I fancied myself as a bit of a merryman. I could always see Andy being the like Donnie, as in I'm accusing him of what you are accusing me of, working us against each other, and he'll make off with the loot. But I do as Bosco, Chris. I don't know why. It was either Bosco or it was going to be the other guy from the crew, 50 Cent. But
I think 50 Cent.
Yeah, you don't talk very much. But I'm the one that mumbles. So, okay. As far as movies go, I've got my usual questions, which you guys feel free to answer as well. Could this film have come out in 1995? And once again, it did, because the film Heat came out in 1995.
Oh.
And this film liberally and unashamedly, unabashedly just steals stuff from Heat. Like actual things that happen in that film. There's like, oh, that's good for our film. We'll take that, and we could do that. We could have that bank robbery and that shootout, and we can have the cop and the criminal. They can meet in the middle of the film and have this tense scene, and he can go home and the wife's new husband is there, and we can have this scene where he goes like literally. There's so much of this film is just Heat, and that came out in 1995.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it. I haven't seen it for years.
Heat's really good. It feels as long as this feels. Like they're not an easy, quick watch, but Heat is very good. It gets better with age, I think. Heat. Dead Man Walking, 50 Cent was a guarantee.
I put Bosco was Dead Man Walking.
Yeah,
You could tell after the first one and his smug face that he was going to get killed.
Yeah, he has one of them faces that he's going to end up getting killed. But I thought 50 Cent, I thought it was kind of like a stunt casting. That's like, oh, we'll get the celebrity guy in. He can't really act. We'll wipe him out quite early on, but he lasts to the end. But 50 Cent. Who's in the wrong movie? Gerard Butler's family is in the wrong movie. That's a different film altogether. 50 Cent, you say, Andy?
Yeah.
I didn't want to double down on him, but yeah. And then movie tropes that we want to die. I went for the good guys break more rules than the bad guys. I feel like that's a bit overdone now. That he's a cop, but he's not your average cop. He doesn't care what he does to stop the bad guys.
Mine's is similar. Mine's is the FBI showing up and being cunts every single time.
Yeah.
Just like you don't even know what's going on. You've came there. These guys are undercover, and you're just a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
Mine's is when people are in the con and they act angry or upset when nobody is watching but the camera, like the big Samoan guy from Walking Dead. I don't know if something had gone wrong, but he was like, fuck, I'm so angry. But he knew Donnie's plan, so...
yeah, good point. Yeah, why was he... With nobody watching him, why was he pretending to be mad when...
In case Donnie... Well, not Donnie, the thing he'd put cameras in his van or something, I don't know.
Yeah. On to point 7 then. Point 7 is that one thing. What is the thing?
I have to take this before somebody steals it.
Okay, what will we take away from this film? What's the one thing this film has going for it, Andy?
The Saw conclusion, I'm going to call it.
The Saw conclusion, the twist.
Not even just the twist. Just when they go back and they go like, remember this thing? Look at this. Like when they visually show all the pieces together.
The Kaiser Soze from Usual Suspects, where everything he said is behind him on the wall. That sort of one.
Yeah. I like to call it the Saw conclusion.
The Saw conclusion. What about you,
mine includes a Saw, but I've gone for the military precision shooting of the weapons.
Okay.
The gunfights were what I took away from this.
Mine overlaps with you, and I'm going to put it here so that I don't have to make up a pointy award that will not ever have any other nominees. I nominate this film, that one thing, the best traffic jam in movie history. The only thing I can think of that would come close is the beginning of Falling Down, where Michael Douglas loses the plot in the traffic jam in the heat that sends him spiraling.
What about Gone in 60 Seconds when he jumped over a traffic jam?
Yeah, there we go.
That's the worst one.
Yeah. I mean, the CGI lets that one down. But I
That's
think this
famously bad. We want to keep.
I wanted other answers. I couldn't think of any others. All I could think of was Falling Down in this. But I think this is the best traffic jam. I was thinking the Matrix movies. No, that just happened on the highway. It wasn't actually a traffic jam. But yeah, this is the traffic jam. Whenever I think of this film, I think of the traffic jam shootout. So I'm going for that. Point 8 then, the actual nominations for the 10 Point Podcast Awards. Chris, you start us off and we tell you
my best actor could be contended by a few people, but I put Pablo Schreiber.
I think it is him.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's probably his. I think it's his best role. I've not seen everything he's in, but
you've not seen Master Chief yet.
No, I've not seen that. But
he doesn't even act with the helmet on. He just takes that thing off and acts.
He does a lot by doing a little in this one, does Pablo Schreiber? So yeah,
opposite from what he does in Halo.
I wasn't sure whether to put him as best badass.
I've got him with a question mark. So
right.
maybe that's enough.
There's not an outstanding badass in this.
Everyone's a badass. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Well, the way that he comes out the van, that's Saw, and he's just like that, and holds his hand up and he goes out and just fucking blasts everybody. That's quite badass.
I suppose it is. Yeah.
Right, give him best badass then.
He has the most badass stuff, I think. Yeah.
I put best team as Merriman's crew.
The best team is that a category?
It is. Well, it is actually. I didn't nominate one. Are they better? Are they a better team?
Well, they robbed the bank.
No, technically Donnie's team is.
Yeah, Donnie's part of his team. In fact, yeah, Donnie's
actual team, but you don't see them. They're done. And
if somebody
it's definitely wins, best plan.
Yeah.
That's coming up later on.
If Team Donnie is a team, it wins because it's the best.
I'll accept that.
Team Donnie. There's him, the phone guy, the bin man, and then what was the other guy? The big kind of
some big Russian guy that said Bad Boys.
There was the two money counters that gave him all the details. They were there.
Yeah, but they weren't. They just happened to come into his bar. They weren't part of the team though.
No, but they were in the London one.
No, they weren't.
I'm sure they were in London, weren't they?
There was Donnie behind the bar, the big square-headed guy, the bin man, phone guy, and then the woman from the order of the Chinese food.
I'm sure those other two were there as well.
That woman's blown my mind. I didn't realise that was her.
Yeah, it's her sitting there.
I'm renaming this to Big Nick's Biggest Dick Award. He is big. The biggest bell end is big.
He probably is, really.
Yeah, he is a twat.
Yeah, he is an absolute bell end. Yeah.
My best death was 50 cents. Just that face plant cracked me up.
Okay. I didn't have one because I found it quite hard to differentiate, so we'll go for that. Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. My best plan was Donnie's plan. Like he worked it to perfection.
Worked.
Did I have that? So I've got the actual heist, but yeah, I think I wrote that before Donnie's plan.
That is still Donnie's plan.
The Donnie's
plan. The heist. It's
thing.
Flawless. It worked.
Donnie from the get-go.
My worst plan was not using silencers on any of your weapons. Well, I don't know whether that was part of his plan or not to draw attention.
Well, that's what, actually, that takes me to what I was going to ask there. Was part of Donnie's plan to be arrested at the end?
Oh, definitely.
You think he was supposed to be picked up?
Yeah.
By Nick?
Yes.
Rather than just getting away?
Yeah, I think he was able to escape, but I think that might have just been like plan B if he was to get picked up. He'd escape. But plan A was just him walking around the corner to the Simone guy.
Yeah,
no, I don't think the Simone guy was the right thing. I think he was getting picked up all along.
Right. Okay.
I want to believe.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. It could be part of the plan. But yeah, sorry, Chris. Yeah, carry on.
I'm going to add his best weapon was that saw machine gun. That was fucking brutal.
You could nominate that for best inanimate object if you want. My one was a gigantic money counting machine. Was my best inanimate object, but I'm happy to go with your big fancy gun if you want.
I'm going for the gun. It made more noise.
Best twist: Donnie's double crossing the Merriman's crew.
Yep. Donnie is the mastermind. Is undoubtedly the best twist.
I've got a lot of spaces here to do.
That's fine. You can have spaces.
Yeah, Michael Pena Award. Merriman explaining the prep for the Fed Bank.
Yeah, I suppose it is that. Yeah, that's a good. Although I was swithering where Donnie telling the Nick the backstory of how he first met Merriman and going to the barbecue and all that sort of stuff. But you're probably right. Him doing the casing of the federal place probably the best one.
Okay, worst cop. I've put Big Nick's team because they failed to stop either of the robberies.
Yep, they were shit.
So I did go Big Nick for best cop because he does. The team do wipe out basically all the bank robbers and get the main guy, and he himself stops him.
Oh,
Donnie gets away, obviously. But,
you let a bank robbery happen.
I just stood there and watched it, going, "Yeah, okay, this is all right. This is fine." He sees like armed people just leaving a van. I'm going to allow this to happen.
Yep.
See how far this goes.
This is not Minority Report. He can't arrest them before they rob the bank, though, can he?
They're carrying weapons.
Yeah, that's against the law. You can't walk in with a big gun. Like,
I don't want to be with the FBI guy, so okay, I'll back down here.
Okay. My best costume is the full tactical gear behind Bruce because that's just a badass gear.
Yeah, it really is.
It looks like Ghost.
The masks are amazing, yeah.
And that's me by the looks of it.
Okay, I have got best cameo.
Most pornographic is the strip club, obviously.
Okay. Best cameo is also Danny John Jules. This is an overlap for me. It doesn't always necessarily go this way. And this is where cameo is going to become really argumentative again. Michael Bisping is the best cameo. And
who was he in this? For the life of me, I couldn't find him.
He walked into the bar in London, who worked in the Diamond Exchange across the road. That's Michael Bisping. The former UFC whatever champion of the world and now UFC commentator. And this is a cameo because he's there because he is a famous UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Not in any other reason is he there. That's why it's a cameo. And I absolutely didn't expect him to be there. However, he is one of 4 UFC fighters in this film.
Yep, there's loads of them.
Yeah, the wee guy who's the bin man in Donnie's crew, he's another UFC fighter. That's Max Holloway, a UFC fighter. And then there's 2 other ones that I'm unaware of that are in the film. There's 4 UFC fighters. So amongst all them is all Danny John Jules, but Bisping, when I walked in, I was like, oh my God, it's Michael Bisping. I've done that one. He's done costume. Best entrance, Donnie in the cash cart. I'm going to say that because I wasn't expecting. I was like, how is this going to work? I said, oh, Donnie's in there. Okay, so he entered the bank in the cash cart. Best fight, I squeezed in Donnie getting the shit beaten out of him by the cops in the back of the car for what felt like no good reason, really.
They all took a punch as well, didn't they?
Yeah, I just felt walking along the street. That was a bit harsh.
Yeah, so it's not much of a fight, but I thought I'd put it in there. Best food, crime scene donuts. I'm going for those. As in actually part of the crime scene. Yep. Not that they got them at the crime scene. They were part of the crime scene. And we've done that. I've got a best product placement, Andy, for later. Best song is a tough one because it was only in the background at the gun range. About 2 seconds of it is at full volume, all the rest in the background. But it's Highway Tune by Greta Van Fleet is playing in the background. It's a song.
What's the end credit song? I like that one.
I don't know. I think it's better than that, but it's. I don't know what
the name of it. It's that good, but
yeah. Best villain. I've gone Merriman. He's really good at being the bad guy and also turning out that he's not the bad guy. It's quite a good.
See, I've rooted for him too much to be a villain.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's why he's the best bad guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It counts that way. I've done hymns, and I've only got one worst here that's not been mentioned, and I can't believe none of you mentioned it. Worst accent.
Yes. Donnie's one.
O'Shea Jackson Jr.'s half-assed Cockney accent, where it's like he decides at the end of the sentence that he's going to be a Cockney and it does it.
I just thought of it as I passed by it, and I was just like, I'll add it in later. I forgot.
But yeah, that's the only worst I've got. Any others from you, Andy? I know you got your product placement probably.
Just best product placement, which is going to be the Pepsi Cola company.
Which it wasn't. It's Coke, wasn't it?
Oh no. So Coke is Pepsi Cola. But their vending machine was a Coke vending machine, but also had Sprite, and then they had the water, bottles of water, which is Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola company. They make that water.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Pepsi Cola. They're the company, not Pepsi. Coca-Cola. Sorry, I keep saying Pepsi.
That's yes.
Coca-Cola.
I'm getting confused now. What's the actual product placement? Is it Coke or Pepsi?
Coke company.
The Coke machine is in the bank, and the guy says, "Go get yourself a Coke." And then Dasani water bottles are everywhere.
Coke company. That's what I meant.
Coke's water. So
Coke company, not PepsiCo.
Yes.
Coke company.
Coke everywhere. Chris, did you notice any?
And they had cocaine as well.
They did have that kind of Coke as well. Yeah. That's for product placement. That's for nominations then.
Yep.
Point 9, the moral of the story. What lesson were we supposed to learn from Den of Thieves? One we're supposed to definitely learn, which is said in the film. People with things to hide never have much to say. was one thing it would say, but
Oh,
quite like that. But I've gone for make friends with someone who works for the phone company. That's what I learned from this. What about you, Chris?
Mine is always double check who you're texting.
yeah, that's a good one. Andy, what about you?
You can never have too many heists.
You could never have too many heists until they kill you on your last heist, I guess. The 10th point is a 10-point rating where we rate the film out of 10. I'll go first. Chris hadn't seen it. He goes last. I'm giving it a 7 because it's good. I like it. It's not as good as I remember it. I remember it being like, oh my god, this is amazing. But I think it's because my mind was just like at the end. I think you probably have to kind of either be, I'm right in the mood to watch a good heist, or it's a case of stick it on. Oh, here's a good bit and here's a good bit. Like Andy says, I think it dips early with the kind of Donnie first getting arrested. You think it dips later with the kind of the relationship,
backstory after backstory.
Yeah, exactly. The mid, it definitely shoot out at the beginning, shoot out at the end, but then the end shootout is like 45 minutes long, like the heist and everything like that. So there is a dip. But yeah, a 7. I think it's good, but it's far from like the perfect film. So Andy, what's your rating?
Like you summed up perfectly last week. I said I like this film. It probably won't get a 1, but then I rewatched it, and oh my god, it took a dive on a rewatch.
Did it?
However, not too much of a dive, but there is a million and one films that have done this better.
Yeah.
And there's obviously a million and one films that like came after this, which has done it better. Films before it done it better. And other than the twist, which is
I feel like you say this every time that a film has done it better. So I'm going to start calling you. So name me 2 films that have done it better than this. So
Ambulance, that was pretty good.
Right. Okay.
And then there was the Sicario film, which I always got confused with this one.
Yeah, Sicario. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I'm just like, because I think every time you review a film, you say a film that's.
I was thinking we'd do that as well. As
you could call it, but yeah, those were the 2 specific films I got confused with.
Cool.
Pretty much the same thing, but yeah, on a rewatch, it's not as fun. First time watching it's a banger. So it slips down to a 4.
4. I think it's a good watch. And then if you watch it soon after, knowing that Donnie is the mastermind, it's a good rewatch. But you're right, after that, it's like, well, I've done my 2 watches. Chris, on your first watching, what is your score?
To be brutally honest, my first watching, I thought it was utter shit.
Really?
Until like the last hour.
Right.
I genuinely said to Nicola when they started robbing that bank, I was like, fuck, something's finally happening.
Yeah.
And like, I couldn't give a shit about Big Nick's married life and the backstories and all that. I loved the actual heists and the gunfights. And then on second rewatch, when I knew what was happening, I kind of enjoyed it a bit better. So it's bumped up to a 5.
5 from Chris.
I feel like I've had more fun talking about it.
This film's ultimately the reason why I can't watch Saw again. I can't. I can rewatch the rest of the Saws, but the first Saw.
The first Saw is so. The ending is so important with the first Saw. Yeah, it's a 5 out of 10 then. Bang average for Den of Thieves, which is probably fair. I do. I favour it a bit more because I do enjoy it.
I feel like I did get better on the second reviewing because I knew it was happening.
It's just like the Human Race. After you watch the Human Race like 5 times, it just gets better with age.
Because the first time I watched it, I was so bored, and then like I knew which bits I could get my phone out and skip. I was like, okay, here's a good bit. Ah, fuck. All right, here we go again. So I enjoyed the second viewing a lot better.
It's a hard watch with a decent payoff.
Yeah. Okay, I've got a theme this season. You guys want to guess?
Heists.
Not heists, no.
Is it epic twists?
It's not epic. When the twist happened, which I'd forgotten about, I was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna think it's twists," but it's not.
That's the twist.
Not intentional twists, but it might actually be a thread. Now think about it, but yeah, it's neither of those things. But I'll hold you to 1 guess for this week, and as we go forward, some more guesses will be coming. Next time, it's Chrissy's pick. We forgot to clear this up, but it's definitely Chrissy's pick next.
It looks like he just picked his pants, though.
I haven't prepared anything, but I'm going to.
He's looking at his DVDs right now.
Yeah.
He's bad.
Oh no, they're to the side of it there. Actually, I've changed seats. I'm going to carry on what I think I started with the Renaissance, and I'm picking the Mummy 2, the Mummy Returns.
The Mummy Returns. Are you still doing your making good? What's it? You said there's someone you were. Oh no, you told us.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business.
Is that's an unofficial theme.
I'm carrying on with the fact that he just won an award, so everybody's going to be like,
yeah, Brendan Fraser.
Googling Brendan Fraser, so we're going to pop up.
That's the second time you picked The Rock, so yeah.
Oh, of course. Yeah, it's that one, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, dude. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Way back to Doom. Yeah, The Mummy 2. Is it The Mummy 2 anything, or is it just The Mummy 2?
Mummy Returns.
Mummy Returns. There we go. The Mummy Returns. You'll have 7 days to find The Mummy Returns, and then we'll review it next time on the 10 Point Podcast.